I entered an expert level Jiu-Jitsu competition and ended up hitting a rare submission called a Z-Lock. I actually did it twice. Here's how it happened. My first match was against a brown belt. He comes at me with some crazy dance moves, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do about this, so I just sit down on my butt. I go shin on shin and start lifting him up to go for a leg lock. He tries rolling to take my back, but I just come on top. I put my knee in between his legs, then control both of his ankles and fall back to start looking for the Z-Lock. I use my shin to make space for my leg to come over, then I start pulling his left leg towards me. I get an overhook, and I start pushing his leg up to finish the Z-Lock. It's a submission that targets the hip mainly, but it can also damage the knee. I won that match, but later on, I'll have another match where I hit the Z-Lock as well. But first, I have to get past John Venna, a brown belt and seasoned competitor. Act like I'm gonna wrestle for a bit, then I just sit to guard. I get both my feet in the middle, which will open up entries into single leg X. I grab his ankle, making it harder for him to sprawl his leg back. Then I use my other arm to grab his knee, and I slowly start getting my hips under him. Eventually, I'm able to get into a full single leg X. He tries stepping around, but I'm able to follow him and start bringing my leg over. He starts going for something on my foot, so I just push him back and come on top. Now we get reset in the middle, and I try to recreate the position, but the ref's like, to be honest with you, Chief, I don't remember where you guys were, so we're gonna have to have y'all reset in neutral. I'm like, okay, I'll just pull guard again, I guess. But John starts putting on some passing pressure. This is what I was afraid of. If he got past my legs right now, he'd be up on points. But luckily, I'm able to fight the pass and hold him still with a knee shield. Now that I was holding him still, it was my turn to go on the offensive, or so I thought. I transition into half butterfly guard and do some hand fighting. I feel like I'm winning the grip fight, but he pressures in, so I use his momentum to enter into single leg X. From here, I turn his knee outward and go belly down to finish the straight ankle. I actually made an instructional about my full leg lock system. I put it on Jiu-Jitsu Lab, which is where I'm going to be posting everything I know about Jiu-Jitsu. Got 3 instructionals on there already. I'm also doing multiple calls a week where I break down members' rolling and competition footage. It's in the link down below if you want to check it out. My next match was going to be against Vince, a young purple belt prodigy. I sit to guard, and as he comes forward, I elevate him and enter into single leg X. I was ready for another quick finish, but Vince switches it up on me. He rolls and starts looking for a Kimura. However, he's not able to lock it up, and I get on top. He tries entering into a leg lock on me, but I counter his cross left frame with one of my own. I fall back into the same position where I finished the Z-Lock from before, but he starts coming up. So instead of going for the Z-Lock, I go for a heel hook, and we roll out of bounds. We get reset, and this time, Vince decides to be the one to do the butt scooting. So I start working my passing. Concept I've been thinking a lot about is the idea of connection. When the bottom person doesn't have an established guard with good grips, it's easy to pass to the outside. I do this, but he's able to defend. Vince sits up and leaves an opening for an underhook, so I grab one and start pressuring forward. I step over his knee and force him into a chest-to-chest half guard. Something I've realized from this position is that focusing on controlling the hips here is kind of broken. It stops them from getting a hook inside and really lets me control the position on my terms. From here, I suck my knee out to get the pass. I go knee on belly in an attempt to transition to mount, but Vince bridges, so I start looking for an armbar. However, he starts defending, so I go for the stack pass instead. I go for a knee slice, but Vince pushes me away, so I start working my outside passing. I put my hand on his hip and push away his knee. He turtles, so I start looking to take his back. I lock my hands to trap his arm. Then, I block out his knee and pull him down to the mat. I switch to a seatbelt and start looking to get my hooks in. I throw a leg over, and I start coming up. Now he's in a tough spot. If he comes up, I can just get both my hooks in. But he brings it back to the mat, I'll just have mount. I ride this position for a while, till I notice his arm is extended. So I grab a Kimura and start going for an armbar. I bring his arm to the side of his legs to prevent the hitchhiker escape. And as he rolls, I hip in to finish the armbar. My next match was against another brown belt. I sit to guard and get inside position with my feet. I use my hands to control his far leg, and I throw my leg over to enter into single leg X. I get a full overhook, and I get a bit overexcited on the straight ankle, so he's able to spin out. We reset. And I do a pretty suspicious guard pull, only holding on to a finger here. And the ref's like, you can't just grab a finger. You're not going to prom here, pal. grab her wrist. I'm like, my bad, my bad. I decide that it'll probably be easier to just go for a takedown. So I fake a collar tie, grab my opponent's leg, and run the pipe for 2 points. I usually don't fall back for leg locks, but I was feeling pretty confident today, so I sit back looking for the Z-lock. I start pummeling my leg over so I can reap. Then I pull his leg in and grab an overhook. From here, I push on his ankle to bend his leg, and he starts hand fighting. So I keep my hand out of reach for a bit while I think of what to do. I threaten a Aoki lock on his left leg, then I start grabbing his toes. From here, I push up on them. I gotta use some elbow grease, but I'm able to get the tap, winning the tournament. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video and join Jiu-Jitsu Lab so I can help you get better faster.